Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Dawn Perez, and I'm one of the education specialists at the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County in West Palm Beach, Florida. Today, what we're going to be focusing on are some of the features that have made us LEED Platinum certified. So LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. First, let's discuss the Solid Waste Authority. So the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County is a local government agency that was created in 1975 to manage all of Palm Beach County's waste. That would include garbage, recycling, biosolids, and home chemicals. And we have to be really efficient about how we manage these wastes because we have a lot of people that live in Palm Beach County. We have about 1.4 million people that live in Palm Beach County. And on average, each one of us makes about 12 pounds of solid waste per day. So if we do that math and we take the 1.4 million people and multiply it by 12 pounds, at the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County, we get almost 17 million pounds of waste per day. 17 million pounds. That would be like a football field piled up to 27 feet high, which is almost as high as the goalposts. So that is a lot of waste. And again, we have to be efficient and unique about how we manage that waste. We have many different facilities that do that. A couple of them include our renewable energy facilities, where we burn the garbage and turn it into electricity, and our recovered materials processing facility, which is where your recycling goes. And when your recycling gets there, we sort it even further, then we crush it into these cubes called bales, and we sell those bales to companies that will turn those materials into something new. But again, today, what we're going to be focusing on are the different features that have made us LEED Platinum certified. So let's go check it out. Welcome to the third floor of our Education Center. Before we talk about our LEED Platinum features, let's take a look at a few things. So first, we're going to take a look at this big hill over here, which is one of our sanitary landfills. Now, we call our landfills sanitary because before we put anything in them, we put down thick liners of plastic and a leachate collection system, or a system that collects garbage juice, so that we're protecting the environment and the groundwater. So none of that leachate or garbage juice is getting into our environment. Once we put those down, then we're going to start filling our landfill with materials. Now, this is our Class 3 landfill that we're looking at here. And that means that larger items are what are going into this landfill. Things that can't be burned, like construction debris, old mobile homes, old boats, and refrigerators. Of course, we strip them of the metal first and sell those to recyclers, and then those items are compacted and put into the landfill. Now we're going to take a close look of one of our weigh stations. So here you can see one of our weigh stations. And this is where any of the trucks coming to our facilities have to stop, okay, before they drop off garbage or any other materials. We need to know how much material they're dropping off, and we also need to make sure that that material is safe. We have radiation detectors at each one of our weigh stations to make sure that no biohazardous material is coming through. We here at the Solid Waste Authority do not handle biohazardous material. And what we'd have to do is call the Florida Department of Health if a truck carrying this type of material were to come to the Solid Waste Authority. Now, let's take a look at some of those features we were talking about that help us gain LEED Platinum status. So, welcome to our green roof garden. That's what you're looking at here. Our rooftop garden is not only beautiful, but it also serves a larger purpose. The plants here not only absorb the sun's energy when they're photosynthesizing, but they also absorb the sun's heat. This helps to keep our education center cooler, and this results in us using less air conditioning and being more energy efficient. So let's go check out some of the plants in our green roof now. What you're looking at here is a native Florida scrub called blue porterweed. It has these beautiful bluish purple flowers that attract all sorts of pollinators, such as bees and butterflies. It even attracts hummingbirds sometimes. Oh, look, and there's a bee now using this plant to get some nectar. The next plant we're going to focus on is called sensitive mimosa. Now, sensitive mimosa have these really pretty purple flowers, which kind of remind me of truffula trees from the Lorax. Take a closer look. They're pretty cool. Now, does anybody know why we call this plant sensitive mimosa? Well, you're about to find out. When you touch this plant, the leaves actually close up on themselves, which is pretty neat. And the way the plant does this is by using rapid water release from these special cells on the base of the leaflet and the leaf stalk. Why, may you ask, does this vine do this? Well, it's thought to be a defense mechanism to protect itself against animals that would eat this plant. It's thought that the animal may be startled when the leaves move and move on to eat other plants instead of eating the sensitive mimosa. The sensitive mimosa is also great for bees, and it's the larval host for the sulfur butterfly, which we have a lot of sulfur butterflies on our trails. So the next plant we're going to look at is called muleygrass or hairgrass. And this is actually a type of native hedge or grass. Now, as we get closer to this one, you'll notice that it has a purpley pink color to it. That is actually its flowers and seeds. So yes, it does flower, believe it or not. And muleygrass is great for wildlife because it forms a canopy for small animals so that they can get shade and take shelter, which of course is very important in Florida, as I'm sure you all are aware. This grass is also great because small birds can eat its seeds. Now, before we move on, I do want to point out a few things in this area. First of all, we have our Solid Waste Authority sign. So that is a really cool piece of artwork that our staff made from reused scrap metal and bottles. And this is a great reminder about one of our very important 4 R's, which is reuse, right? Because we reuse that scrap metal, we reuse those bottles, and also a tire frame in order to make this weather vane. So very cool and a very great example of reuse. Also in the background, you'll notice the tiles on the ground. So these tiles on the roof serve a purpose as well. You'll notice in between the tiles are cracks. And these cracks help direct rainwater that falls down into a gutter system. So the rainwater drains into this gutter system, and then the gutter system directs the water into a large cistern or storage tank, which I'm going to show you now. So this is our rainwater cistern, okay? We collect the rainwater off of the roof of the education center, as I described before, and we store it in this 12,000-gallon tank. So the rainwater is used to water the green roof garden, as well as the landscaping around the education center, and it's also used for the water in our toilets. Pretty neat. Now, another plant I wanted to point out on our green roof is our tropical milkweed, which is also known as scarlet milkweed. Now, unfortunately, this is a non-native, okay? It's not from Florida. However, it's not an invasive species, so at least it's not doing any harm to our native species. And this plant serves as the larval host to the monarch butterfly, and sometimes, but rarely, to the queen butterfly. So this is another plant in our rooftop garden that's great for pollinators like bees and butterflies. Also, just a fun fact, did you know that there are actually 24 types of milkweed that are native to Florida? So if you're planning to create a pollinator garden like this, please do your research and try to use the Florida native milkweed in your garden instead. Sometimes they are hard to find at garden centers, so you might have to go to specific native plant garden centers to get our native milkweed. Now here we're focusing on this little insect. These insects here are known as milkweed bugs. Have you ever seen these before? Well, these bugs are considered harmless, and they eat the seeds and the tissue of the milkweed. And they're thought to keep the plant in check by reducing the number of seeds that are dispersed by the wind or blown around by the wind. It's kind of neat to think about how nature has its own checks and balances. You'll also notice something about these milkweed bugs. They're a bright orange and black, just like monarch butterflies. What do you guys think the monarch butterflies and the milkweed bugs have in common? Think about it. Well, that color there tells other animals to stay away, okay? Because the milkweed plants have toxins in them, okay? And when the milkweed bugs and the caterpillar of the monarch eat the milkweed, they actually absorb the toxins. So they become poisonous themselves. So if an animal does try to eat these insects, they're gonna be in for a surprise. They will probably get very sick, or they could even die if they eat too many of these insects. All right, so now we're gonna move on and look at another feature that makes us LEED Platinum certified, and that would be our solar panels. So we are very energy efficient, as I mentioned before, and we use two forms of renewable energy sources on our site. So one of them are these solar panels, which of course collect solar energy that's turned into electricity. And these solar panels actually help to power our education center. The second type of renewable energy that we use is biomass or garbage. So we are actually combusting or burning that garbage in our renewable energy facilities and creating electricity from that process. We then use that electricity to power all of our buildings off of North Jog Road, and we sell the excess to FP&L. So the excess actually goes out onto the power grid. So think about this. The next time you turn a light on at home, it could be powered by your own garbage. How cool is that? So the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County received LEED Platinum status in 2016. And there are a couple other features that helped us become LEED Platinum certified, such as the tiles in our education center that are made from recycled rubber and our energy efficient lighting. We also scored high points in the following categories: parking and transportation, habitat restoration, our use of stormwater runoff, as you learned about before, water efficiency, reduced light pollution, and an increase in energy cost savings. So, as you can see from seeing our green roof, learning about our plants, learning about our solar panels, and everything else, the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County is very, very green. And we strive to be stewards of the environment every day. We believe that Earth Day is every day. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed learning about our LEED Platinum certification features, like our green roof, our solar panels, and our rainwater cistern, which you can see behind me. If you liked what you learned today, please share and like with your family and friends. And if you have any questions about what we learned today, go ahead and drop them below in the comments and we'll get to them. Or you can email us at education@swa.org. And just a reminder before you go, we have programs like this every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. So if you've missed some of our recordings or you'd like to see our upcoming schedule, please visit swa.org/education to look those up. Thanks again and have a great day. Bye.